Welcome back to We Care a Lot. This is the first official episode that we have in real life announced the change of the podcast. So we've been saying it for 2 episodes now, but this is the first time where we've said it current time. So welcome.
Welcome back.
Today we decided to just kind of shoot the shit and talk about how far will you go to be famous and literal physical changes you have to take on. Just like that whole world. There's so much in it.
It's just a big old rant about what we see changing in the celebrities we love, in the people that we follow. And so just tag along for this conversation.
So if this is your first time here, I'm half the podcast, Sam.
I'm the other half, Mel.
And let's just get right into this topic because I feel like this is going to be a long tangent.
A long one.
So first, I think we want to share just a quick little trigger warning. If you don't want to hear about, beauty standards, the way society feels women mostly, I feel like we're going to discuss should look and things of that nature, I would say maybe a different episode's better for you. But yeah, look out for yourself. And
so I think the most common thing that we think of when people when we think of people in Hollywood and beauty procedures, we really think about injectables. So whether that's filler or Botox, I feel like that was where I feel like a long time ago, maybe 90s and early 2000s, the only things we really heard of in terms of procedures was boob jobs and then people getting Botox. And
what's the fat one? The liposuction.
Or liposuction, you're right.
Yeah.
So I think it's become a lot more open and honest about what is happening, but it's still very hush-hush.
Open and honest from a doctor standpoint. The doctors are we offer all these things versus celebrities being we got these things.
I also think it's because the celebrities themselves are still being very quiet about it, but now that we have influencer culture, they are at celebrity money status, and so they're going to the same places and they are the ones who are being honest and documenting about it. So it's we're kind of seeing the behind the scenes through normal people, but they're also not normal people. So it's this weird time that we're in.
I feel like injectables are just the gateway drug.
Oh, absolutely.
It's also nose job is low-key the gateway drug.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of celebrities or Nepo babies, I guess, who get nose jobs it's nothing when they're 15 years old. And it's what?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the science if you're still growing into your face at 15.
They say that you're still growing into your nose. Your nose stops growing at the age of 20 or 23.
Okay, so
something crazy like that.
Getting a nose job at 15 just seems crazy. And
we'll talk about her later, but Bella Hadid has said that she wishes she didn't do her nose job because she thinks she could have grown into it. And I think that says a lot. But I also feel I don't know, part of me is I don't know, I think about how much I wanted a nose job, and now I'm I could do without one, but also I could do with one. So it's I don't really know where I stand. But being so young, I don't know if I would have regretted it so
I think I would have regretted it knowing I had gotten it at a young age. I don't know, something about it. No shade to anyone, but
yeah,
wow.
But we also
really did that.
Live very normal lives. I don't know what it's being under a microscope of the world.
Or if my mom was just yeah, we get it. If she was so cavalier about it, just so yeah.
Yeah.
We can set an appointment. Going to the fucking doctor for when I have a flu. If my mom was yeah, let's go. I'd be okay. Mom said, let's go.
I feel I was so indecisive. Once I turned 18, that was something that I always brought up to my mom, that I wanted to change my nose. And she felt my pain because she always hated her nose. But at this point, she's whatever, this is my face. She was very open and like kind of okay with me wanting to get one, and she kind of like left it open, like, if you want one we can talk about it, but you have to be like obviously like 18. And I didn't, not that like I had the money for it or anything, but it was just like a conversation of like, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but like think about it, because it's just like a forever thing. And I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
And so my own indecisiveness led me to not get
to
one.
not do it. I feel like, yeah, your mom went about it the right way.
Yeah. Because I feel like if you say no, then they're like probably gonna be like, well, I'm gonna get one anyway.
Or yeah, like there was just, well, I mean, it depends on the fucking kid, you know.
Totally.
There could you could have been like, no, I'm getting it. Like, I don't care.
I don't care. I'm like 18, credit card.
Yeah. I mean, well, we could talk about Bella now. Why not?
Yeah. So there's obviously like speculation that she's had a bunch of stuff done. The one thing that she has admitted to, and the most obvious thing I think, is obviously like her nose job. And I think for a while she had denied it also. And I think it's difficult. I have like such a soft spot for Bella Hadid. So like, if you hate her or whatever,
this is not the place.
This is not the place. I will fight for her. I think she's like always talking about her being compared to like her bigger sister, Gigi, and like how her mom had always had like this beauty standard that was like the girl next door that Gigi was. And Bella looked more ethnic like her dad. And so it was like this constant struggle of wanting to feel beautiful and accepted within her family, and also like societal standards. Her mom was also like part of the Real Housewives, which huge show in America. I'm sure she felt the social pressure of like, I want to be beautiful too. And even then, like also when Gigi started modeling, I'm sure she wanted to do that too, and it just felt like she wasn't up to par to Gigi. So I think she transformed herself to looking extremely different, and that's like,
but still like in
allegedly,
standards.
But the nose was like, I think the first thing that she felt was like most different from her sister. And she got that at 14, dude.
How far apart are they in age?
I think they're like 2 years apart.
So Gigi did probably start modeling around 16.
Yeah.
And then she got a nose job at 14. That's
so it just like adds up, you know?
It's like, you know, listen, all of this could have been avoided had their mom, noticed like that all this was going on. Like, you're beautiful. Like, telling her these things, but instead she probably said, I want a nose job, and she probably went,
you probably need
you
one.
Right. Like, I'm sure she wasn't, I mean, maybe she was that bad.
We don't know.
But like, I just feel like if my daughter was, which, you know, imagination, I don't have a daughter, my niece, if my niece came to me and said she wanted a nose job in 3 years, I'd be like, babe,
she's
why? 10. She's gonna be 10 this year.
Oh my god, that's crazy to think about that. In 3 years, like that's technically like the age
she'd start asking like about it. I'm sorry,
that is so young. So young. Because I only think about it in my terms of like 14,
when you were 14.
Like, I was in high school, like whatever. But like a 10-year-old in 3 years, that's crazy. Holy fuck.
Starting to ask that, yeah, I would literally be like, babe, you're perfect the way you are.
Also, your nose is not done growing. Like
literally you're a baby. So I'm sorry, I'm never gonna tell her that, but like,
you're literally a
baby. Still, don't stress.
I also think about 14-year-old me with my nose then, very different from my nose now. And I know that we brought that up in the last plastic surgery episode that we did. So that's what makes me like a firm believer that some people definitely grow into their nose.
Yeah, and you just like also, I understand there are some more like, I don't want to say severe, but like cases in which someone's confidence and self-worth are being like daily brought down by these things.
Oh, absolutely.
And like everyone has different gauges on that, and Bella Hadid maybe could have argued that point. Any 14-year-old girl could probably argue that point, like, no, my self-worth is like trash,
it's
mom.
Trash because of this.
Right. So like there is always those nuances, and it's hard, but like, God, a nose job at 14 or any work at all, I'm like, all right, eyeshadow, neutral colors, go off, babe. Like, go do your thing.
Yeah, we just live in a different world. And also, they lived in a different world. Like, being so into, like, Hollywood or even just, like, the upper class kind of situation, those things are so normal. Like
all their friends are probably talking about that.
Yeah. Like we went to normal high schools, but like even when I talk about things like that with like Logan, her experience with like plastic surgery as a teenager, not herself, but like viewing it from her peers, it's so normal. Just another 16-year-old birthday,
it's like Clueless.
gift. Yeah, it's
like
just always happening.
Dion.
Yeah.
And all those girls getting nose jobs.
Literally. So it's just really about the different worlds that we all live in.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Bella, she has a really pretty nose, though, I will say.
I love what she did.
I love what you did with your nose.
Do you think she literally done again?
I think she might have. I think she might have like added like more structure or something. Yeah. I think she had like grafting done.
Graft.
Graft.
Gotta get my grafted boots on.
This plastic surgery situation is just like something that I'm always like so into and will constantly like learn about it in terms of like celebrities. It's fucking fascinating.
I will definitely ask Mel if she thinks someone did plastic surgery on a photo. I'm like, so what do you think?
And I'm like, yeah, she got this, and this done. It's like with Jen, she always sends me like, it's just like no context. She'll send me some girl's boobs and she's like, do you think, and then she won't say anything. And I'm like, yes or no. And she's like, what makes you think that? And I'm like, here I go.
Okay,
I said, well, look at that. But yeah.
I think speaking of Real Housewives, Lisa Rinna's daughter, Amelia
Gray,
she just like, I remember watching because I watched Housewives with my mom, so I remember watching it and her coming out saying that she had an eating disorder and that things were really difficult for her and that she was like on the recovery and all that stuff. I don't remember if in that episode she talked about like starting her modeling career. I don't remember, but like I was like, God, that's crazy. Like if my daughter had severe like image issues and like relationships with food being a problem, modeling is like the worst industry to like put yourself into. But I mean, she seems to be doing well
to the naked eye,
success wise, like,
to the naked eye. Yeah, like,
but she's gotten work done as well.
She has had a transformation. And this is like, okay, with like this conversation, no, like literally no shade to anybody. I am one to want some of these procedures. So I'm literally no one to talk, but
we're just speaking on how interesting the dynamic is like mentally for these people.
Yeah.
And the like, not to say that their choices were bad or good or whatever. It's just fascinating to us as normal people.
Do you follow Lori Hill or like know of her?
No.
She's this person on YouTube. I think she has some videos on TikTok, but she has her entire channel is talking about celebrities and plastic surgery. And so like I love how she speaks on the transformations because she gives you like the her opinion on like the surgeries and procedures that they got done, and then at the end she gives like how much each procedure costed and then the total. Oh, so then she's like, to look exactly like Bella Hadid or Amelia Gray or whatever, it costs this much money, and sometimes it's like $500,000 and you're just sitting there like, I'm like, not that I'm glad I'm normal, but it's just like you realize that these people that we see and images that we see of these others like huge celebrities, they come with like such a large cost and they don't just wake up looking like that.
And it's not just cost financially, it's like a cost of
sometimes
mental
sanity.
Mental sanity, or like just in general like the cost of what it is to let go of your old self and have to go under the knife because you feel this pressure or whatever the case is.
Yeah. So it's just like I like her channel for that reason, and she also never shames them nor like talks about like, sometimes she talks about like the mental aspect of surgery, but it's just very like
to facts.
Yeah. An opinion of like what the procedure is. And I don't know, the cost is so interesting to me because it's usually like a shit ton of money.
And it's these people were all super beautiful and stunning prior. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
I do think like, and another thing is like she's a very great, like she is very pro like getting plastic surgery, so like it doesn't come from a place of like shame or like
these people
like are like crazy looking now. It's just more of like either something she says is like either this person was a great candidate for this procedure or they weren't, and this is why like it looks like not as good as it does for this person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like if you already had like a wide jaw or something and then you got extra
filler
fit,
or like like an implant. Yeah, she'll go into that. So anyway,
crazy.
Interesting channel. Love her.
Wait, has she done like the people who like want to look like
Barbie
dolls?
dolls
And shit?
Yes. She'll go into like fake, like what makes you look more fake and plastic looking versus like more natural. Some people like that look. I mean,
that look. Wow.
Yeah.
We're
such interesting beings.
Like the human species.
Interesting.
We have done the thing. Anyways,
eating disorders.
I mean,
I think they're so common, and again, it's like the social pressures of being in that world.
Or not, or wanting to be in that world, or just wanting to be in general in society. It's just like fucked up.
I also think that people just think that people with eating disorders tend to just have like this need to want to be skinny,
or like a vanity thing.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, if not most times, it's just a control aspect of like something that's going in their life, and it's a coping mechanism that makes them feel like
in control of something.
Which like it's usually their weight or the way that they look. So
that's true.
Yeah, I think though like eating disorders are so prominent in like acting, modeling, that world.
Speaking of eating disorder, Eugenia Cooney, I just recently stumbled on her page again, and it's sad.
It's really bad.
Like, she was doing better after her Shane Dawson collab videos or whatever, like years ago,
when she got out of rehab.
Yeah, and then
or treatment, I should say.
Yeah, treatment, and then she came back out, and now she's like doing the same, but like,
I would argue she's doing worse.
But, like, probably worse just because it's been so long that she's been doing... Like, I think she's doing the same things.
I see what you're saying.
But her body has just gotten so weak that it's not... I can't... It's sad.
I think she's gone to extreme measures. And I think the ED world is interesting because I think there's such a backing and, like, community in it, which... I'm no one to speak towards that. Like, I don't want to touch on that, really. But, like... I think they have like cultivated within her too, and like the people who are like watching her
or something.
Yeah,
that's the scary part.
That's the part that's scary. Is like they're either like making her an icon, or on the other flip side, people go on there to trigger her, and so it's like either way, no one's helping.
It's hard. I was reading comments on her post because people were trying to be sensitive. Like people were like, "It's so good to see you," like. I really hope you're doing well, like, just trying to be sweet, but it's also, like, no one can help, really.
No.
Especially not online. So that's the thing, and other people will comment, like, we're all just watching her, herself, and...
Unalive herself.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm like, what else are people supposed to do? Like...
Yeah, it's literally no one's job.
Because you're right. It's either you idolize her or you trigger her, or other people who are also reading whatever you comment or say. Mm-hmm. Her family, I'm sure, is trying their best to support her. Mm-hmm. And they probably are just at a point where they're like, she's happy. I don't know what to do anymore. Like,
well, also, like, you think about it, she's genuinely, like, sick.
Yeah.
And kind of, I feel like sometimes people treat eating EDs and, like, mental stuff as not the same thing as being like physically ill, like cancer. Not to say that it's like
treatable the
like
same
justified what she's doing or whatever, but I do think like she's ill, and if somebody doesn't want to get treatment, want to get better, it's what can you do?
Yeah,
especially an adult woman, there's literally nothing you can do. That shit does make me really... She pops up on my like stuff a lot, and I don't know why. I think it's because like when I do see her, I watch it just to see. I literally like
how she's doing,
just to check in. Yeah, it's just weird though. Like,
yeah,
her fan base is just really interesting. A lot of people say like maybe it's just time that we just like don't give her any attention because like maybe that's what's feeding it. But I'm like, it's a double-edged sword. I don't really know what would work there.
Yeah.
It's just she would need to want treatment for herself. Moving along from that topic.
On a less heavy note, back to Amelia. We didn't talk about buccal fat.
Okay, yeah. So a huge fucking procedure that like everyone's doing lately is buccal fat removal surgery, which if you don't know what buccal fat is, it's like the area next to your mouth but like below your cheekbones. A lot of people tend to have, or some people tend to have like an excess of fat there. And that fat can go away if you like lose weight, but it just sometimes is just like the way that your face is structured, the way that God made you. And lately everyone's like been wanting that chiseled like cheek look, and so they'll get that removed. It's not super invasive.
It's like such a drastic change though in the face.
Yeah. Low key thinking about it.
No.
I've always just hated how like big my cheeks feel.
You're literally ridiculous. Your cheeks
literally
are
okay,
not
but
big.
the thing is, okay, some people, this is like a huge thing that I've been thinking about is like some people get surgery to look younger, some people get surgery to look like older or like to look more mature. I feel like I've always had such a young looking face that I feel like sometimes people don't take me serious or like don't see me as like a mature person because of my young looking face. And that's always been an issue that I had with like, I think my self-confidence low key. So it's like, I'm not to say that would fix it, but I think that would like
me slaying
everywhere. But I think that it would like help me at least on the outside like world look the way that I feel inside.
There's a lot to unpack there.
But anyway, that's what people have been getting.
If it makes you feel any better, I never thought you had a baby face. Like I've never looked at you and thought she looks like a little cute baby. No.
Every like,
someone has told you that
so many times, dude.
Who?
So like less likely now, but like from like
don't
ages,
tell me middle school, please.
No, from ages like 17 to like age maybe 23. Like when I was probably 16, I was told that I looked like I was 13. And when I was like 18 and I was like, I'm an adult, you know what I mean? Everyone's like, she looks like she's 16. Like it was always like 3 years younger, 2 years younger.
Winning.
No, though, not
It's
at that
a
time, not
slay.
at this time. Like more likely or not now, like I don't get that same thing, but I don't know if it's just because like obviously I'm hanging around other people like that are my age group that like it's, I don't know.
Maybe you just carry yourself more maturely.
Maybe,
and that's all it took.
But I still feel like I look so young, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
I'm like, fuck you. I've always been like 8 years ahead of what people are like, yeah, she's like 36.
Dude,
like, fuck you. I'm 22.
Why? It's just
I'm just kidding.
height,
No one's guessed that old, but I'm on the flip side of that coin.
It's just the. See, that's what I'm saying. Like everyone has like their own feelings about things.
Everyone has their thing, and
but
everyone has the right to it. But damn.
But yeah, buccal fat is just something that helps enhance like that more mature, chiseled look. And if you can think of people like Dove Cameron, Selena Gomez, even I think Bella Hadid, they all have had that like a really chiseled look. Amelia Gray, you can see her transformation very like non-subtly.
Hers is super.
Yeah, and like I think people get it done sometimes. You can do like a half situation where like, they don't take that much out, or you can do like a full removal. I think depends on like what you're going for. Like I feel like Selena Gomez just did it to like have more of like a narrow face versus like a rounder face because she has naturally a round face. And people like I think Bella Hadid and Amelia Gray, they do it for like the purpose of like just being editorial looking for like modeling. And I think sometimes not that it's necessary for your career, but that's like the thing that we're talking about, like how far will you go to be famous, to be successful? Some people have to alter their bodies. I don't think that that's like necessarily a good thing, but it's just something that it happens.
I think like the scariest thing about plastic surgery is just that knowing that as you age and live life, your body is going to change regardless. Like you could gain 50 pounds. who knows what that's gonna do to your nose job, your buccal fat removal, your BBL, like all that shit, whatever. Or if you lose 50 pounds and now you look fucking ghostly or something, you know what I mean? Like, there's just so many factors, but like, obviously don't live life in fear. Like, but I'm just saying, like, I think that's the thing that would scare me the most about committing
getting surgery
to
and I think like with some procedures they're like irreversible, and we'll talk about things like BBLs because very trendy right now. But like with buccal fat, you can never reverse it. I think you can, but it's like just
adding
like,
fat back.
And I think it's just it's not done very often. But so like buccal fat, you get it literally just like surgically removed from the inside of your mouth. So it's like not super invasive. It's like an oral surgery basically. But if you want fat to be put back into your mouth, they have to literally do like a facelift situation where they pull your whole face off and then add it in. The whole it just freaks me out. I'm like so into plastic surgery on the outside appearance, but speaking about the inside stuff that happens,
the actual doing,
like literally, I think that's why I'm so like into plastic surgeries, because I used to love watching like Botched.
Oh, Botched was amazing.
And like when they would pull the skin down, I'd just be like, I can't see it. Like,
it was like almost like, did anyone like that part of the show?
I don't think maybe like people who want to be like surgeons or something. Like, it was really interesting. I mean, I wanted to be a surgeon, but not the vibe.
I wanted to be a surgeon. Ew.
Ew.
Looks away from the screen every time.
Dude.
I'm dead.
I'm like,
you said, I feel it's in.
It's good.
Yeah, and then BBLs, I mean, they're on the out though.
They're so on the out. And not like, again, I don't want to talk about them being like trendsetters, because I mean they are, but like I don't want to accept that, I guess. Or maybe they're just trend like movers. I should
like
say they move the trends along.
They are like, once they do it,
it's going on.
Yeah.
You're thinking, yes, the Kardashians, specifically like Khloe and Kim, of course, have
they removed the BBL fully?
I think so. I think they've gotten like a removal of, well, like for Khloe, people speculate that she had like actual implants in, and she got those removed.
Shut up.
And I think it was like a slow process where she got those removed. Still had like a full butt because she still had like fat transfer in. Like grafting is what they call it, I think. And then more recently, I think she's had like either lipo, or she's just been like another speculation or like allegation, or allegedly I should say, is they're using like injectables like to lose weight quickly. So there's that whole situation.
Yeah, I
and
did
then
see that on the news.
So when you're like losing weight, I'm assuming that they're also getting like lipo on their butt, and then like they're probably getting injections so that it looks smooth. Does that make sense?
This is like so much work.
So much work. And so much like money and time, I think.
That's the thing too. Once you do it, it's like dyeing your hair. Once you do
just have
it,
to keep
you have to
maintaining
keep doing it.
The maintenance is wild.
But like with hair, you could stop. And then it just
you
grows
could stop
back
with your,
out.
You could stop with your
but like too, but it could just grow back out and be natural at a certain point, like after a couple years. But body, like things could be looking funky. You could stop, but they'd be looking funky.
They might look funky.
So that's my thing too. Like, it's a forever endless pit of money you're throwing at yourself.
Yeah.
But like when you're the Kardashians, I guess it don't really matter.
Yeah, I'm like, if I had that money, who knows? That's what my thing is, like, anyone can be super beautiful if they have a lot of money and you like are willing to put yourself under the knife.
The thing is, though, all of them were really beautiful anyway.
Yeah, they've always been beautiful, and they still are really beautiful. It's just more of like more to society's concept of beauty.
Like a lot of beautiful people getting plastic surgery
to be more beautiful, to be unattainably beautiful.
That's not the unattainable.
Well, that's what celebrity and stardom is like being like the non-touchable, you know what I mean?
God. Wow.
So there's all that. Speaking of skinny, I feel like a lot of people also speculate that they got like mini bypasses, which is like when they like shrink your stomach, right?
So you want to eat less.
So you want to eat less. That makes sense. I mean,
I'd be down for that.
I'd be down to like eat less.
I feel like low-key I gave myself one time. Like for like a couple years I just like ate a little less at dinner. Like I was like I could eat a little more. Like I wasn't like starving or anything.
But you're like, I feel a little less.
I was like, but, like, do you need that extra piece of bread or whatever? Like, I was probably overeating before, and then I was eating normal.
Dude, me.
And then my stomach was like, oh, period.
Okay, like, this is all we need?
Yeah. Mini bypass.
Yeah, I mean, your stomach, like, naturally shrinks and grows.
Exactly, so...
But this is, like, forever, your stomach won't grow anymore, like, to that other size.
See, the permanency of
it. Always be skinny. But also, like, if you don't take care of yourself during, like, the healing stages, you could grow weight quickly from just eating, like, nothing. Does that make sense? So you're having the same stuff with the smaller stomach. Anyway. Do you think Kendall Jenner has gotten a mini BBL?
Yes.
Yes.
She is her unreal if it's real. Unreal
like,
if it's
let
real.
me know what you're doing, girl.
Yeah, like...
If it's a mini BBL, tell me that.
Tell me that. I just need to know I'm not going to get it so that I know I'll never look like that.
It's just like, I just want to know that
it's not what I'm doing.
Is not what I'm doing. Let me know that what I'm doing is not going to be working.
Right. Me. Like, that's the thing about plastic surgery is that the unattainability is, like, they want you to think it's attainable, though.
Yeah, like, it's the whole conversation that they had about working out on their, like, season or their show finale or whatever. You know what I mean? When they were talking to Annie Cohen. Do you remember that?
No.
So they did, like,
or maybe
after the E thing, because, you know, they went out to Hulu. They did, like, a reunion, like, little ending special where they talked about, like, questions that the audience had or whatever, and I guess one of them was like, how do you guys feel about people, like, saying that you like have that you bring out, like, unattainable beauty standards? And they're like, well, it's basically like, it's not unattainable because, you know, we work so hard. We wake up every single day and early and work out. We, like, put in the work.
But it's unattainable for the average person, regardless.
I don't think that.
But, like,
comes into their head.
Like, listen. Let's say they do fully work out, and that's how they achieve these results every time. No surgery.
You have a whole team.
We know that's not true. Yeah, they have a whole team to take care of their kids, to plan their schedules, to have an assistant to do the shit they don't want to do, to make them breakfast. They have chefs. Like, that's 6 people that you need to help just live your life.
Yeah. How do you expect a person, literally a mother of the same thing you are for, to do the same thing as you? Not attainable. I think that's just, like, where the wording gets...
They're like, it is attainable, though.
They
said we attained it.
We attained
so
it,
it's attainable.
Like, okay.
Like, I have the money to get surgery, so it's attainable. Like, that's...
Sure.
Like, I guess what's your definition of attainable? To the average person or to the Kardashians?
For real. Anyway, back to Kendall. It's literally, her body's unreal. It is unreal, right?
It's not real. Like,
I think she also got a boob job. Thoughts?
I need a clearer view of that to give you my opinion.
Like, I understand we grow as, like, adults.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like my boobs have grown all that much since I was 16 or 18, in my opinion.
This is, like, not a slay for her. Like, on the left, this model.
When she first started.
Like, just what... Okay. Not that I could slay harder. Like, let me just... say that. Oh my god, this picture.
That picture is crazy. Like, that one has to be edited, right?
I don't think it is. Not Kylie.
Oh my god.
Just, like, so old.
Also,
this she's like 14 in this.
That's be so, for like, real. Be fucking for real. People speculate that Kim got, like, rib removal surgery, and so did Kylie. And Kylie too.
All three. Them 3.
Maybe even Kendall too.
Thick as thieves.
Kendall probably got some too. Or she got her hips
widened a little. I don't think so. I think Kendall overall, I'm sure she's gotten work done in general. Like, you know, lip filler, Botox, shit like that.
I don't know. I think Kendall got her boobs
and her butt. I don't know, man.
And her butt. I think maybe at least injectables, you know what I mean?
Like a little bit of... Dude. But it's, like, so normal now. And, like, I don't know.
Kendall Jenner accused of always photoshopping her waist.
Always? Not always. She's literally... She just posted a video, though.
Videos can be photoshopped, though, too.
I mean, that just seemed like an angle thing. Like, you know,
really?
Sometimes...
It's, like, pretty straight on.
But for me, not angle, like... But, like, you know, sometimes you be... really stand in a certain type of way. Because, like, relaxed. Yeah, I do be looking different relaxed than I do on Instagram.
Girl.
I said, don't ask me to look like I do on Instagram, okay? And it's not because I edit shit. It's because I'm posing.
I'm posing. My body's uncomfortable in this stance.
And my friend's at a really good angle.
Girl.
We can come back to the Kardashians, but I really want to touch on Tana Mongeau.
Yes.
I just think she's so honest about what she does in terms of, like, the online versus real life.
That's what I'm telling, that too. But I'm also, that's the part that I was saying of, like
surgery.
She has money, the same money as, like, some celebrities, and she's documenting it, being fucking for real about what she gets.
That's her brand.
And, like, people like her are the reason we are getting more in touch with,
and that's why more normal people are getting these surgeries, because we have access to knowing about them.
Yep.
So anyways, Tana, if you guys don't know Tana, go follow her. I don't even know if I follow her, to be honest, but I see her shit and she just cracks me up. She's just very honest about the editing measures she goes to, because she has OnlyFans too. And I think she's outwardly spoken on those things. Like, yeah, I edit myself, and what? We all do it.
I'm like, girl, but you do a lot.
We're like, but. And then you see, like, and I applaud her for not giving a fuck about, like, because she's always with other, like, you know, content creators who are making videos, and she's not, like, asking them to edit her in like,
anything, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, girl, but, like, it's just so clear when you're in someone else's video versus your own videos.
Maybe
or, like,
she doesn't care, though. I feel like that
I think she doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hella respect her for that, because I feel like it's almost even going towards this, like, meta, like, verse type of reality where, like, people just create, like, avatars of themselves. Yeah, it's like like, that's what her kind of profile is an avatar of herself. That's kind of fucking fire. Period. Like, fuck wanting to be real. Like, be not real.
Be for fakes.
Be for fakes. So go off, queen. Continue to be your avatar self.
Like, yeah, I think it's a slay. But it just makes me laugh because she's just, like, she's slaying so hard.
So hard. Waist snatch, ass literally, like, to her fucking neck, basically.
Her ass to her neck.
Her ass to the top of her back type beat.
Yeah.
She's doing it all.
She does. And we applaud it. Like, she's honest. And, like, back to the Kardashians, they're not honest. They don't fucking care, and they just under the radar will do shit, and then they always have the cover-ups, like, oh, they broke up, so now we're not going to talk about the fact that Kylie and, like, got their BBLs removed. Like, oh, but they broke up, or they're getting married, or they're blah, blah, blah. So
much there.
I guess back to the how far are we going to be famous? Like, how far will you go?
Me?
Yeah, I guess.
Pretty fucking far.
Pretty
I
far.
love surgery, though. Like, I mean,
but you have to commit personally.
Yeah.
Like, would you actually? Like, without the promise of actual fame.
Oh, I don't know about that part.
Like, you'd have to be famous. So we'll see when you're famous. What the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be honest about it? Are you gonna be honest?
See.
You don't know if you're gonna be honest about it.
Bitch, if someone said you can't talk about it, sit.
Okay. Why would they say you can't talk about it? Like, your manager?
Yeah. My PR, they said you can't talk about it.
Fuck your manager, bro.
Okay. She's making me money. They're making me money, bitch.
Yeah, but you're making them money.
For real.
So
be fucking for real.
So be for real, bitch. I pay your salary. Okay, no. Now the fame's already getting to our heads and we don't even have it. Literally kidding. But
something I don't want to... Going back to the Kardashians, I feel like we always just bring these bitches up when it's talking about surgery or, like,
because they're
fame.
The obvious people.
They're the obvious number one go-tos for this stuff. But in terms of, like, the removal of BBL, I think it's, like, less also just about the BBL itself, but it's, like, and like, it's, like, that thing that people say of, like, or just, like, body trends come and go. Yeah. And, like, they're constantly on a fucking rotation. And people like them have the money to transform themselves every other fucking 2 decades. I was gonna say centuries.
Whoa.
Every couple decades. that like they can do it, and they obviously were like, when they were first like, when they were still quote unquote normal people, they were still rich, but like they had normal bodies and were trying to fit the norm of what the time was, which is like skinny. But they, like, for example, Kim was always like a curvier woman. She was skinny, low key, but like she was curvier, and that's just like how it was. And then going into like her Kanye era, she really grew into like this
Kanye era
racial ambiguity situation where she was like extra tan, growing that big old booty that is clearly unnatural to her. And now it's back to like skinny. Divorcing Kanye, back to skinny, back to actually
dating
looking,
Pete.
Literally dating a white man, looking more like a white woman. And there's just like, I think the beauty trends in like Hollywood and specific, just like they really sometimes can be very disgusting in that way, where like you're taking on like a different persona versus just enhancing yourself. You know what I mean? And it's like to the success that you want to reach. So like I saw this video, I forgot who did it, but they did a whole analysis on like her body and how it like really speaks to the era that she was in her life. So like, for example, like with Kanye, she was with a black man, she was having black babies. She was trying to fit that mold of like being an ambiguously like racial person that like could be seen as a black woman and like could like go into like the rap culture and all that. And now that she's like her own thing and like trying to get into like investment banking and stuff like that, she's trying to like be a white woman again. It's just so weird. You know what I mean?
That is like a very
very
a very distinct line to cross when it comes to how far we go to be famous.
Yes, literally.
I mean, in that aspect, it's like how far we go to be successful. Because like at this rate, all these people are already famous, and some of them are like so famous that their generations to come will not have to worry. But obviously, like Amelia, I don't know her literal financial situation, but I'm sure there's still like steps for her personally to cross for her to consider herself like this famous successful person or whatever. I know that Lori, this also reminds me of something else of like Doja Cat. I don't want Doja Cat to be mad at me, so I don't like know if I want to talk about her. But like, I love you. I don't really care what you did or didn't do. But Lori Hill like had done a video. She now deleted it because Doja got mad. But what?
She had done a video like, she does this with every like celebrity where she like gives her opinion on what they got done. And obviously like Doja had like lost a lot of weight. Had some different facial features. I don't know if that's from like the weight loss or what, but like she's also had such a transformation into her success as well and her like stardom and fame. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it just seems like
things are connected,
but
are they?
But also like they are probably.
But also it's not even like their fault. It's not Doja Cat's fault that people wanted her to be skinny and that's how she got
the
famous.
industry.
Yeah, it's like it's literally not her fault.
No.
But it's also like, I don't know, I think there is like the psyche of like we're saying how far we go to be famous as if it's like a negative thing.
Yeah, no.
But it's not necessarily the person's fault for wanting to be famous. I think fame is always like attached to this idea that these people are vain or narcissist or whatever. It's like, it's not necessarily always tied to those things. People want to be famous because they want to reach more people. They want to inspire more people. They want, like, communities. Like, it's not always down to, I want money and I want people to admire me.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I think money is obviously a motivating factor for a majority of people. But the admiration always comes with people that are haters, and it always comes with the negative things. So wanting fame, I don't think is necessarily a narcissistic thing. It's just like some people want to be famous. Some people want to be doctors. Some people want to be famous doctors. Some people want to be fucking like, they don't want to work. They don't want to work at all. They don't want to work, period. Some people work in a fucking office and don't give a shit about anything or anyone, or they're just haters too. So it's like... Yeah. It really doesn't matter what people want to be or really why? I mean, I like, obviously the why is important if you want to support someone that's famous or whatever, but it's like, how far will you go to be famous? But it's not really like their fault why they have to do these things. It's like collectively as a society, it's our fault.
Yeah, we've all created these standards and these like what we're portraying to them, like what we want to see from them as
what
being
we support
famous.
and what we don't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What the ideal is and what like this again like untouchable, unreachable standard is, and like once they get to a point where it's like let's level you up to the next level of your career, you got to meet the beauty standard at some point, you know?
And it's not to say that like people don't get famous that don't
without
follow
doing
that. Yeah, because they do. There's totally people that don't subscribe to that.
I will say that's like very like outlier situation. Like for the majority of people that are growing into their fame, things are enhanced, I should say. I don't want to say changed, but things are enhanced.
Hopefully enhanced and not just like ruined. For some people, I don't know. Fame
is interesting, and all the procedures behind fame
and the psyche of choices.
Yeah, I think like the thing that I find so fascinating about like plastic surgery and like within like celebrity culture is just like seeing how much they all influence one another and how, like you said, like we have this like ideal thing that we're portraying to them that we need to see from them. It's just so interesting to see everybody transform in that manner. And
because I bet when you're on that level, like let's say Bella Hadid is like friends with models or like just her friends who do whatever it is, and they're on her Instagram and people are commenting like whatever, talking shit about her friends because they don't look like her or they don't look pretty enough to be friends with her or whatever. Like people are just hating on people who know these people.
Yeah.
And like being in that circle, I'm sure it's a lot easier to be like, oh yeah, well I went to this doctor, or like this is the procedure I'm getting. Like if we were to be talking about it so casually and so normally all the time, just like, oh yeah, like I went to the doctor and got Botox this last week. Like, are you going? Like, it becomes like a normal conversation.
Yeah.
And it's not.
It's a different world.
Yeah.
That they're like living in and like having a community in.
Literally. And it's not like a bad
It's like catch me in a couple years.
Dude. And you also don't have to like we said, subscribe to it. Like,
you don't.
You could literally decide that it's not
or
for
do.
you.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I also might be. I mean, like I said, I want so many of these different procedures that we're talking about, but do or don't. I think it should come from the fact that it's like within yourself, like it's something that you want for yourself, obviously, and not because you think it would please other people and that those other people. Like we said, I mean, if you're in that position, I'm not in that position. I have no reason to talk about what that feels like. But at least for the average person, like, I don't think anybody famous is probably listening to this podcast right now. So it's just like all of us normies here, like, don't look at these celebrities and like think that they also, like, I guess like for them it might have been more of a forceful thing, and for you to want that, it's just like not coming from the same psyche. You know what I mean? Want it because you want it, not because they have it. And that's what seems most beautiful to society or other people.
Yeah. Like I want a big butt because Kim Kardashian has a big butt. And everyone talks about how big her butt is. And I want people to talk about me like that. It's like,
okay.
Maybe just I want a big butt or whatever.
Yeah. And I think like secondly, always come from a place of wanting to enhance your own beauty already and not to change and become somebody else, I guess.
Unless you literally are like that Ken and Barbie people.
Unless you really want, I mean, like, maybe that's their version of enhancement. Like they want to be plastic looking. Go off, King and Queen. Anyway, I think that's it for this episode. It's just a long, giant rant on how far will you procedurally go for fame. You're combining surgically
and procedure.
Legitimately, as I say.
Legitimately really far.
Really far. I wonder how far, you would go.
Yeah,
would
how
you
far
go
would
into
you
the
guys
knife?
go?
And it's not vain whether you say yes or no, because low-key, that's where my brain goes.
It's not vain because I said so.
I'm just saying it's a normal thought, okay? But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode.
Yeah.
Don't forget to catch us on Glowing Hour on Friday, or if you're listening to this later, go ahead and tune into that. Yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Later. Bye.